Well, I just got through wiping the tears from my eyes, I hope. Sitting out here on the balcony, Friday the 30th of June. Tomorrow will be Canada Day, a special day of remembrance and of thanksgiving and of celebration for all of us up here, multicultural as we are in Canada. And I pray that the weather will be good and people will take time and consider, just as they must take time and consider on November 11th when we remember those who in active combat gave the ultimate gift. Well, on July 1st, Jim Haynes, a friend of mine, and I will be going to Embro. We're going to see the Scottish Highland Games there. I've never been. I've been to them in Cambridge. I've been to them in Dutton. And certainly I heard the pipes when I was over in Scotland itself, but tomorrow we go to the Highland Games, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm out here on the patio, on the balcony rather, and I've just listened to a music video by Lincoln Brewster, who is both a good writer of music, singer, and a guitar performer. My God, there's a section of guitar in this song that I listened to that blows me away, electric guitar. Name of the song was More Than Amazing, and I'm going to link it in the comments beneath this video. It takes excerpts from the movie Son of God, which was produced by Roma Downey and her husband Mark, and his last name escapes me now, but I know he was the producer of the series Survivor on television. And it's a very noteworthy representation of the life of Jesus. Now this video also in the visual part will give you little snippets of God in the Old Testament fulfilling his covenant and protecting his chosen people in miraculous ways, and it's beautifully portrayed in this movie. Well, then you get to a line in Mr. Brewster's song where he says he remembers all his promises. And at that point, the scene on the screen is one of the three wise men looking up and beholding the spectacular, unusual star that they've been following and continue to follow right to Bethlehem and the manger and the baby Jesus. He remembers all his promises. And then later on in the story, you have Peter very much down on himself, after having denied the Lord for sake of saving his own redneck. And Jesus arrives, and this image sits right down beside Peter, and Peter's just contemplative and looking down to the floor, and he looks up and he turns around and he sees Jesus. In his resurrected, remarkable person. And he can hardly believe it. The actor really does a fine job there, and Jesus smiles at him and holds up his hand, puts it forward, his right hand, as if in a gesture of peace, shalom. And there's the nail print, a hole in his hand, and the sunbeams penetrating and coming through that hole. And Peter goes nuts with joy. Oh, jeez. Well, you're going to enjoy the video. But what I really want to do today is talk from the first chapter of the letter of Paul to Colossians, the people of Colossae. And in many ways it parallels, and with slightly different wording, repeats the messages of the letter to the Ephesians. But there's one thing I want to say, and I'll be brief, and it's heel-clicking material. If you got to dance, if you got to jump and hoot, that's fine. Well, what a setup for comedy. Anyway, in the fourth chapter, we're seeing how the writer, Paul, is saying you have a full representation of the nature and the agenda and the person and the beauty of God as you consider, as you look upon Jesus. He is the fullness of the representation of the Father. There are things said in that chapter that differentiate between Father and Son, that speak of promise and promise fulfilled by the Son for the Father. All of these things create an undertone supporting Trinity, the whole idea of a partnership, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Totally in agreement. totally submissive one to the other. No one takes a priority one over the other, although for sake of order, there is a special position for the Father, a special position for the Son, and a special position for the Holy Ghost. The thing I want to get at, 15th verse through 18th verse, chapter 1. Jesus, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature, for by him are all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him, Jesus, and for him. And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. Remember that word, consist. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have the preeminence. Verse 18, I'll stop there. By him all things consist. Think about that, will you? Everything is held together. The push, the pull, the action, the reaction, the inhaling, the exhaling. All life, all creation, all of our body, all of this planet is a question of a conflicting, diametrically opposed forces. And if it weren't for the fact that Jesus, the Creator, the one who knows about everything because he made it and he can fix it, including you and your body and your mind and your emotions and your relationships with other critters, he causes all of it to consist and not to virtually blow apart. You know, that expression, Lord willing, I used to think that was just religiosity and phony. I thought, oh sure, I'm going to go to this thing tomorrow, Lord willing. Why do I have to say that? I'm going to be there. Well, you'll probably have experiences down the road where if you didn't have Lord willing, you wouldn't get from A to B. And when you look at it afterwards, you say, wow, Lord willing. Well, just remember that word, by him, all things consist. I've now gone 7.5 minutes. I'll stop and enjoy the balcony, and here comes my wife with her coffee. There she is. Hello, Liz. Smile to the people. Have I got your face? No. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, guys, have a good day. Thank you for listening. Doug Blair, Kitchener, with Hillary sitting down with a nice warm cup of coffee. Bye now. Oh, and by the way, enjoy Canada Day tomorrow. It's a great day, and I think the weather is going to be pretty well sunny for the large part of the day.
It's hot lemon.
Oh, you got hot lemon there. Good. Oh, excuse me. She's taking these slices of lemon in boiling water and drinking that to clear the throat, clear the head, and everything else. I don't know if that was a compliment or not. I'm going to stop right now. Bye.